Hey guys, in this video we're just going to be looking at how to convert ppm to some other units such as percentage and ppb. So to start, we're just going to be looking at ppm and percentage. So ppm just stands for parts per million. That means that we have X amount of parts per 1 million. So 4 ppms would just be equal to 4 over 1 million, and 16 ppm would just be equal to 16 over 1 million. Percentages, on the other hand, are over 100, so that would mean that 3% is equal to 3 over 100, and 72% is equal to 72 over 100. So now that we know this, let's go ahead and look at an example problem. So this example problem down here says that a sample of cigarette smoke contains 2.49% carbon monoxide. The U.S. National Ambient Air Quality Standard for carbon monoxide in a 1-hour period is 35 ppm. Approximately how many times greater than this standard is the carbon monoxide concentration in cigarette smoke? So the first part of this problem, we're going to have to convert the 2.49% carbon monoxide to ppm. So first we're going to go ahead and put that in a fraction. And we know since it's 2.49%, it'll be 2.49 over 100. And we're looking for ppm, which is X, which is what we're going to be looking for, over 1 million. And so to solve this, we're just going to go ahead and cross multiply. So we get that 100x is equal to 2,490,000. And then by dividing both sides by 100, we find that x is equal to 24,900. Oops, sorry. Don't know why I did that. 24,900. And this is ppm. And now to solve the other half of the problem, to figure out how much greater this is than our standard, we'll just take this number, our 24,900 ppm, and divide that by our standard, which is 35 ppm. And this gives us 711. Notice that doesn't have units since both the top and bottom were ppm. So this means that a cigarette smoke contains 711 times more carbon monoxide than our standard. Alright, now moving on to parts per billion. Just like the name tells us, this is just X amount of parts over 1 billion. So that means that 25 ppb would be equal to 25 over 1 billion. And 7 ppb would be equal to 7 over 1 billion. And now that we know this, we can go ahead and solve this example problem. So it's asking us to convert 0.037% to both parts per billion and parts per million. So let's start by putting this percentage into a fraction. And since it is a percentage, we know that it'll be over 100. So that gives us 0.037 over 100. And if we're looking for this in parts per billion, then we're just going to have X over our 1 billion. And then we're going to go ahead and cross multiply and get 100x is equal to 37 million. And then to solve for x, just divide both sides by 100. And this gives us that x is equal to 370,000 parts per billion. And so that's the first half of this question. Now we're going to want to take this and convert it to parts per million. And you can either take our initial percentage and convert that to parts per million, or you can also convert our parts per billion into parts per million. And that's what I'm actually going to do. So we have our 370,000 parts per 1 billion is equal to X amount of parts over 1 million. And just to go ahead and make the math a little simpler for myself, I'm going to reduce this fraction over here to 37 over 100,000, which is equal to X over our 1 million. And then if we cross multiply, we see that 100,000 X is equal to 37 million. And then if we divide both sides by 100,000 to find X, we will find that our X is actually equal to 370, and this is in parts per million.